dealing with what are the key principles of Ayurveda and what are the core principles. Like, how does the Ayurveda rely, like how does it look into the patient, and what is the line of the treatment when a doctor or when a Vaidya sees the patient, how he decides the line of the treatment. So what are the core principles followed in Ayurveda? So this bridges the technological miracle of the West with the wisdom of the East, because Ayurveda, you see, we do have wild wisdom of all the drugs over there, but still we lack in certain technological miracle, which we do definitely get a help from the Western world to deal with the patient. So just to create the awareness that the mind and body are connected in treating the disease, Ayurveda emphasis in that. And one more key principle in Ayurveda is prevention. First, we look into the prevention of the disease and finally make it more rejuvenative, and then make the treatment so that it doesn't occur again. So in allopathy, we just deal with the treatment first and then the prevention. But in Ayurveda, it is just the reverse process, which is nothing but first we make the prevention so that it doesn't occur or affect into any other joints, then into rejuvenation, and then finally the third part is really not needed, because once when they are prevented and rejuvenated, automatically the treatment part is done. So dealing with the Ashta Angas of Ayurveda, like what are the 8 branches? Like allopathy, we do have 8 branches in Ayurveda, because many people are misguided that Ayurveda is one solid science. But no, we do have speciality in Ayurveda. Like the first speciality is, this is just a pictorial representation of branches of Ayurveda. The first branch is Kaya Chikitsa Tantra, where we deal with general medicine, like all the categories of the disease fall into the Kaya Chikitsa Tantra. This is nothing but the general practice, like what the Western people do. And second is Shalya Tantra. We do have surgical practice. Many people say Ayurvedic Vaidya doesn't are not allowed for a surgical practice, but yes, we do the surgical process also, but it is not very commonly practiced. In certain part of community, they insist more on the Shalya Tantra also. Shalya Tantra is the branch which deals nothing about the nothing but surgery. And Shalakya Tantra, these are all Sanskrit terminologies. Shalakya Tantra is the speciality which deals only with eyes, ears, and nose, throat related disease. Kaumara Bhrityam. Kaumara Bhrityam is nothing but pediatrics, and all the child-related issues deals with the Kaumara Bhrityam. Agata Tantra is nothing but toxicology, how to detoxify patient, and how, like especially with any Visha insects or whatever it may be, sudden bite or any trauma. This deals with the Agata Tantra deals with the curative process of the such patients. And Vajikarna is nothing but rejuvenating type of treatment, especially infertility, aphrodisiacs and all, they comes under the Vajikarma treatment. Rasayana Tantra is to improve the longevity of the patient, like Kuti Praveshika, those type of like what Chavna Maharishi was following, that procedures comes under the Rasayana Chikitsa. And Bhuta Vidya, this is where we implement more on the spiritual healing and psychiatrist, like dealing with money, mantra, aushada. So these varieties of the disease come under the Bhuta Vidya. So these are all the 8 branches of Ayurveda, and we do have post-graduations on all these subjects. So after finishing our 5.5 years of the general practice, if a person has to do his post-graduation or specialization, we do have these 8 branches. And now dealing with what is motto of Ayurveda. So what it mainly aims at. Swasthasya swasthya rakshanam aturasya vyadi parimokshanam, which is nothing but preservation to health of a healthy person and treating the ailments with breaking the causative factor of pathogenesis. This is very important. I repeat, breaking the causative factors of pathogenesis, because our primary motto of Ayurveda, whenever a doctor sees the patient, he has to emphasize more on the causative factor. What is the nidana? That Sanskrit terminology is nidana parivarjana. That is breaking the causative factor. What was the reason for the disease and where we have to get hold of the disease and how we can uproot the causative factor of the disease. So that is where we need to stress more, and so that the other ailments will automatically come under control. So the basic principles of Ayurveda, there are different folds for that, but I am just dealing with only which is very common and highly rated. First theory is Panchamahabhuta theory, and Tridosha theory falls the second one, and Saptadhatu theory, which is nothing but the 7 body tissues. So as we all know, like life in Ayurveda is conceived as a union of body, sense, mind and soul, as I mentioned it earlier. In that, the main humors of a living person is Vata, Pitta and Kapha, which is nothing but 3 doshas. And the basic tissue, the Sapta Dhatus of the body is Rasa, Rakta, Mamsa, Medas, Asti, Majja, Shukram. We'll deal with that in detail in the later slides. And the Mala is nothing but fecal, urine and the sweat, which is nothing but the waste product of the body. So coming to the Panchamahabhuta Siddhanta, as we all know, what is outside the world is nothing but inside the world. So the Panchamahabhuta Siddhanta is nothing but Prithvi, Ap, Tejo, Vayu, Akasha. That is either air, fire, water and earth. So what does this space consist of? And like the ether and the space is one of the main Mahabhuta. The characteristic features of the ether is it is still, it is cool, it is vast, it is very clear, it is light, subtle and dry. And what does air contain? What is the characteristic features of air? Is nothing but mobile. Chalatvam. Chalatvam is nothing but air. Air doesn't stay in one place. It keeps moving. It is cold, Shita. It is dry, Ruksha, rough, Khara. Light, very lagu and subtle, very gentle. And fire, what are the characteristic feature of fire? Fire is nothing but Pitta. It is very hot, Agni, dry, light, and very Tikshna, and it can spread very fast, and it is transformative. Like from one stage of substance to another stage, it can transfer. The fire can transform anything. So transformative, and it is more Tikshna also. It's nothing but penetrating. And what are the characteristic feature of water? Like cool, liquid, dull, ghanatvam, gurutvam, dense, and it is more nourishing. And last but not the least is the earth, which is stable and which is very dense, which is very guru, and it has a solid consistency and it is more grounding. So the main, the Panchamahabhuta Siddhanta, why I'm just trying to deal with that is whatever happens in the outside of the macroorganisms is the same thing happening with the inside of the body also. So once when we consider the disease, even the drug or while selecting a particular drug for the disease, we have to consider this Panchamahabhuta also.